group of scientists say they've found evidence that human activity has fundamentally altered the Earth in such a significant way that we might have actually entered a new geological period of time. In other words, the impact of human activity has literally altered the fabric of the planet. Welcome to the Anthropocene. If you're scratching your head wondering what that means, don't stress, I'm going to walk you through it. Have you ever wondered about future explorers of the Earth, like in a million years' time, what they might discover about our way of life today? The history of the Earth spans some 4.5 billion years, and us modern humans, we only emerged as a species around 200,000 years ago. So in the scheme of things, we haven't really been here that long, but our actions have already made a huge impact on the planet. What if there was a tangible representation of those actions? A definitive human fingerprint on Earth's history? Well, turns out there actually is. Scientists in Canada claim they've discovered evidence of the beginning of what they refer to as the Anthropocene Epoch. Stay with me. So for starters, what is an epoch and why does it matter if we've caused a new one to start? Geologists, who are scientists that study rocks, minerals, that kind of thing, they work to make sense of the billions of years of history of the Earth. But it's hard enough to comprehend thousands of years, let alone billions of them. To make sense of that enormous amount of time, geologists divide the timeline into sections, and within those sections are epochs. Finding clues embedded in the Earth helps geologists pinpoint the beginning of new epochs. These clues are in fact markers of major changes to the Earth's atmosphere, biology and geology, and they may be evidence of events like mass extinctions, meteors hitting the Earth, or moments that fundamentally alter the chemistry and makeup of the ground we stand on. Some in the science community say we're still in the Holocene epoch, which began more than 10,000 years ago after the last major ice age. But many others in the science community believe we've been in the Anthropocene epoch for some time now. That's pretty significant because it could mean that we humans have had such a dramatic physical impact on the makeup of old planet Earth that unlike other epochs that lasted millions of years, we've triggered a whole new one within a relatively short period of time. But what does any of that have to do with the lake in Canada and this chunk of mud? A recent announcement from the Anthropocene Working Group, a collective of international scientists and uni researchers, claimed to have made some interesting discoveries in a relatively small but deep body of water at Crawford Lake, west of Toronto. And why are they so focused on a lake? Well, because some particles in our atmosphere sink and settle in lakes, forming layers of sediment, solid material from somewhere else that settles on the lake floor. In this instance, the sediment we're talking about is basically mud. And that sediment is actually a really helpful way for geologists to record changing environmental conditions over time. But how did they actually do this? Scientists at Crawford Lake used a mechanism to freeze a section of that sediment, which revealed many thin layers, a bit like a tube of Pringles, with each layer representing a period of time. Geologists can examine these layers to effectively wind back the clock, looking for distinct environmental markers to see what was really present in our atmosphere at a particular time. So, what does this chunk of frozen mud say about the last several decades? Scientists were able to document a golden spike among the layers of sediment, a dramatic and, at least in geological terms, sudden change in the conditions of the Earth. The layers contained various human-made materials such as microplastics, particles from fossil fuel burning, and even plutonium from bomb testing in the 50s. The researchers argue that this discovery supports the notion of irreversible changes to the planet's ecosystems caused by human activities. And so the debate about whether we're in the Anthropocene epoch or not seems to now have a bit more solid evidence. The group behind the discovery plans to submit their evidence to the International Union of Geological Sciences. They're the scientific body responsible for naming geological chapters in Earth's history, and it will be up to them to officially recognise the start of the Anthropocene epoch. So, now you know. Good luck explaining it to your friends.